Using rational roots. The principal nth root states that if a is a real number with at least one nth root, then the principal nth root of a, written as the nth root of a, is the number with the same sign as a that, when raised to the nth power, equals a. The index of the radical is n. Example number 10, we want to simplify nth roots. We want to simplify each of the following. We want to find the fifth root of negative 32. And what it's asking us is that, do we have a number that we can raise to a power of 5 to get negative 32? Well, we do have a number, because negative 2 in parentheses raised to the fifth power gives us negative 32. So the number that we have to raise to the fifth power and the fifth root of that gives you negative 2. Again, because negative 2 to the fifth power is equal to negative 32. Next, we have the fourth root of 4 times the fourth root of 1024. And we're going to use our rules for radicals to multiply because they have the same index, and the index is 4 here. So we're going to have the fourth root of 4 times 1024. Now over to the right, there's another way of being able to solve this. Okay, if we take the value of 4, we can write the prime factorization to be 2 times 2, which is 2 squared. So I write that over here, which is 2 squared. And over here we have 1024. Now we can find the prime factorization of that number, which is 2 times 5, 12. And then we end up getting 8 and then 64, which breaks down to 2 times 4. And 64 is 8 times 8. And then we know 4 can be broken down to be 2 times 2. And then both the 8's become 2 times 4, and then 2 and 2. And then this 8 becomes 2 and 4, and then 2 and 2. So how many 2's do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 2 to the 10th power. So what this allows us to do now is to then, we multiply with the same base, we add our exponents. So now we can rewrite this as the fourth root of 2 to the 12th power. And what's nice about this is that we end up with a base of 2, and this is a fractional exponent because now it's saying, okay, well, what do we have to raise, okay, with the fourth root of 2 to the 12th power, meaning that taking the number 12 and then dividing it by 4 is going to give you 3. So 2 to the third power is then evaluated at 8. Part C, we have the negative cube root of 8x to the 6th divided by 125. So we can write as a quotient of two radical expressions. So either the numerator or denominator has to be negative, so we're making the numerator negative, and we're going to find the cube root of 8x to the 6th divided by the cube root of 125. So again, we're going to do like we did in the previous example. We're going to write 8 as a prime factorization form, which is 2 to the third power, x to the 6th. And then we're going to write 125 in prime form, which is 5 to the third power. So we're going to keep the sign, which is negative. And if you notice here, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we end up with 2 to the first power. And then we have x, and we know that 6 can be divisible by 3, so 6 divided by 3 gives you 2. And then in the denominator, we end up getting 3 divided by 3, which leaves you with 5 to the first power. And there's your answer. Let's look at part D. We have 8 times the fourth root of 3 minus the fourth root of 48. Now we know that 3 can't be broken down any further, but we know that 48 can be written in prime form. We know it's 6 times 8, which is 2 times 3 and 2 times 4. And then we end up getting 2, 2, and 2. So what happens here is that we end up getting the prime factorization. So we have 2, 3, 2, 2, and 2. So we get 2 to the fourth power times 3. So now we can rewrite 48 as 2 to the fourth power times 3. And now we can factor out 2 to the fourth power. But we need to make sure that we leave the index for here being 4, and this is also the index of the fourth root of 3. And now we can simplify this one, which means that 4 divided by 4 leaves you with 2 to the first power. Now we have 8 times the fourth root of 3 minus 2 times the fourth root of 3. So now we have like radicals, which means that we can combine these terms. So now 8 minus 2 is 6 times the fourth root of 3.